Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to challenge you with a question that may shake the foundation of how you've been living. Are you working your own potential, or are you simply working your job? You see, each of us was born with something far greater than a resume. We were born with potential untapped, unseen, and often unappreciated. Potential is not what you have done, it is what you could still do. It is not what the world sees in you, but what is still locked inside you, waiting for expression. The graveyard, they say, is the richest place on earth not because of gold, oil, or diamonds, but because it holds books never written, songs never sung, businesses never started, and dreams never pursued. Why? Because people died without ever working their own potential. Potential is like a seed. Inside a seed is a forest, but unless you plant it, water it, and give it sunlight, all it will ever be is a possibility, not a reality. Likewise, inside of you are ideas, talents, solutions, inventions, and innovations. But if you do not work it, if you do not develop it, stretch it, challenge it, it will remain buried in your soul, never manifesting in the world. And let me tell you something important. No one else can work your potential, not your boss, not your parents, not your spouse. Only you can. You are the custodian of your own capacity. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. What you need is not more time, more money, or more followers. What you need is a revelation, a moment where you realize that your life is not an accident. You were designed for purpose. You were created with intent. You were born to release something the world has never seen, so don't die full, die empty. Work your potential until there's nothing left in you to give. Don't settle for success when you were called for significance. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you, the original. So rise up, shake off the dust of doubt, and get to work. Your potential is calling, answer it. Thank you. Potential is not what you have done. It is what you are still capable of doing. Too many people define their value based on their past accomplishments, their titles, or what others have already seen in them. But that is a shallow measure. True potential is never about what's visible. It is always about what is still hidden, what is yet to be manifested, what is waiting on the inside to be revealed to the world. You see, potential is a powerful concept. It speaks of capacity, not performance. It speaks of promise, not product. It is the wealth of possibility that resides within you. Every human being is born with a purpose, and along with that purpose comes the potential to fulfill it. But here is the truth. Potential is always ahead of you. You have never fully arrived. You will never have done it all. The moment you think you've reached the peak is often the moment your growth starts dying. Think of an athlete who sets a personal best that's not the limit of what they can do. That's just what they've done so far. Their potential remains ahead, waiting to be reached. The same goes for a writer, an entrepreneur, a leader, a teacher. You may have achieved something, but that doesn't mean your potential is complete. In fact, accomplishment should never be the resting place. It should be the launching pad. We often fall into the trap of complacency, believing that once we've achieved a goal, we've fulfilled our purpose. But potential is not limited to goals. It is the ongoing capacity to become more, to do more, to give more, and to serve more. When a person stops striving, when they stop seeking growth, they begin to betray their own potential. Potential must be pursued. It is not passive. It doesn't just show up uninvited. It hides behind discipline, behind struggle, behind uncertainty. It requires effort, sacrifice, and vision. It calls out to you in quiet moments when no one is watching, whispering, "There's more in you." The tragedy is that many ignore that whisper. They get comfortable with the familiar, addicted to applause, and satisfied with routine, never realizing that they are only operating on a fraction of their true ability. It is also important to understand that your potential is unique. No one else can determine the limits of what you can become. The moment you allow others to define your value, you place your potential in their hands, and most people cannot see past what you've already done. But potential isn't measured by what others expect of you, it's measured by the vision you carry inside you, even if no one else sees it yet. One of the saddest things in life is when people die without ever living out what they were truly capable of. They die with music still in them, with books unwritten, with businesses unlaunched, with wisdom unspoken, with ideas buried inside their minds. The graveyard is full of untapped potential, but it doesn't have to be that way. You have a choice. Every single day, you can choose to stretch yourself beyond what you've done before. You can choose to step into the unknown. You can choose to challenge the assumptions you've held about yourself and break through the limitations others have placed on you. Don't be fooled by the illusion of success. Just because something is working doesn't mean it's your maximum capacity. You can be successful and still be far from your full potential. Many people settle for good enough when greatness was calling. They settle for a job when they were meant to start a movement. They settle for recognition when they were designed for transformation. Why? Because it's easier to rest in past accomplishments than to step into the discomfort of untapped ability. But the pain of regret is always greater than the pain of discipline. One day you will look back and either celebrate how far you've gone or mourn how much you left undone. And that reflection won't be based on what others gave you, it will be based on how much of your potential you chose to work. Don't ask yourself, what have I done? Ask, what could I have done if I pushed a little further? Because potential is always a question of possibility. It's what you could still become if you gave it everything you had. It's what you could still do if you stopped doubting yourself. It's what's left in the tank, not what's already been used. You are more than your resume, more than your title, more than your last success. What lies ahead is greater than what lies behind if you are willing to work it. Your potential is your responsibility. And it's not about being the best in the world, it's about becoming the best version of you. That version hasn't arrived yet, but it's waiting on your discipline, waiting on your courage, waiting on your commitment. So don't settle, don't stop. Keep moving, keep growing, and keep unlocking the hidden power inside you. Because your potential is not what you've done, it's what you haven't done yet. You were not born empty. You were not sent to this earth unprepared. Everything you need to become what you were created to be is already inside you. This truth, if you embrace it, will change how you see yourself forever. You are not waiting to be qualified, you were born qualified. You are not seeking external permission to begin, you already have internal provision to start. You are not lacking, you are loaded. When the Creator formed you, He didn't forget to include the gifts, talents, instincts, and inner tools necessary for your purpose. Just as a seed contains the blueprint for the tree, the fruit, and the forest it will produce, so do you contain the raw material for your destiny. You don't need to look outside yourself for validation or approval. You were built with intention. Your very design points to your purpose. But here's the challenge. Many people never discover what they already have because they are too distracted by what they think they're missing. They spend their lives chasing other people's dreams, copying other people's talents, measuring themselves against other people's calling, forgetting that what's in them is just as powerful, just hidden. What's inside you may not be flashy, it may not be celebrated, but it is sufficient. It's enough, and not just enough, it's everything. You see, life doesn't require you to become someone else. It requires you to discover who you already are. But discovery takes work. What is hidden in you doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't push, it waits to be drawn out. That's why self-awareness is one of the most powerful forms of success. Knowing who you are and what you carry is greater than having a long list of achievements. Because when you know who you are, you can walk with clarity, confidence, and conviction. You stop competing, you stop comparing, you start creating from within. People often believe that their future will come from something outside: more money, better opportunities, greater connections. But in truth, your future starts inside you. The job may give you a paycheck, but your gift gives you purpose. The degree may open a door, but your inner conviction keeps you in the room. External resources are tools, but internal resources are power. They cannot be taken from you, and they are not dependent on circumstances. What's in you is permanent, it's divine. It's not affected by the economy, by your background, or by other people's opinions. Think about this. When a bird is born, it already has wings. It doesn't grow them after it decides to fly. When a fish is born, it doesn't attend swimming school. Swimming is wired into its nature. Likewise, what you are supposed to do is already inside you. You don't need someone to give it to you. You need to recognize it, develop it, and release it. The tragedy is that many people never tap into their gift because they believe the lie that they are unworthy, unqualified, or unequipped. But worthiness is not a condition, it's a truth. You are worthy because you were created with purpose. You are equipped because you were born with capacity. The problem is never the lack of potential. The problem is the lack of belief. If you do not believe that you already have what you need, you will never use it. You will spend your life as a consumer instead of a contributor. You will wait for someone else to show you the way, when in fact you were meant to be a way maker. You will wait for miracles when the miracle is already within you. Greatness doesn't come from outside recognition, it comes from inner realization. The moment you begin to see what's inside you, everything changes. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start declaring, "This was what I was made to do." That's when potential starts moving. That's when destiny starts unfolding. That's when purpose becomes powerful. But it all starts with the belief that you are already enough. Now understand, just because you have it doesn't mean it's obvious, and just because it's in you doesn't mean it's developed. Every gift must be worked. Every ability must be refined. A seed still has to be planted, watered, and cultivated. But the presence of the seed means you are not starting from zero. You are starting from greatness in disguise. What you think is ordinary may be the very thing the world is waiting for. What you overlook in yourself may be your strongest asset. So the journey is not about becoming something new. It's about becoming who you already are without fear, without apology, without limitation. Everything starts from within. Vision, purpose, calling, power. The answer to your deepest questions is not in the world around you, it's in the spirit within you. You were born with everything you need to do everything you were born to do. No one can add more value to your life than what you already carry. Education can enhance it, mentors can guide it, and experiences can shape it, but none of them create it. It was already there before the world even knew your name. So today, stop underestimating yourself. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. Stop doubting your gift just because it's not like someone else's. You were designed with care. You were born with purpose. You have everything you need, the strength, the wisdom, the ideas, the instincts. It's in you. The question is not whether you have it. The question is, will you use it? You cannot unlock your true potential without discovering your purpose. Purpose is the master key. Without it, you may work hard but achieve little of lasting value. You may be busy but not fulfilled. You may be successful in the eyes of others, yet secretly empty. The tragedy of modern life is that so many people are running fast in the wrong direction. They are climbing ladders that are leaning against the wrong walls. They are achieving goals that were never theirs to begin with. And all of this happens because they have not yet discovered the one thing that gives direction to their potential: purpose. You were not born to do everything. You were born to do something specific. Purpose is not random, it is intentional. It is the reason why you were formed the way you were, why you think the way you think, and why you are moved by things others overlook. Purpose is embedded in your design. That's why you can't truly know your potential until you first know your purpose. Potential is raw power. Purpose is the target. Without purpose, your energy is scattered. But when you discover your why, your potential comes into focus. It stops being noise and becomes music. Everything created in this world was made with a purpose in mind. A pen was created to write. A key was made to unlock. A bird was made to fly. A fish was designed to swim. None of these things have to struggle to perform when they are operating in alignment with their purpose. Their design fits their function. In the same way, you were made for a reason. Your skills, your temperament, your voice, your background, all of it was shaped to support a specific calling. You are not a mistake. You are not an experiment. You are a solution to a problem in the world. You were sent to fulfill a specific assignment. The moment you discover your purpose, your life gains clarity. You begin to say no to distractions because purpose gives you direction. You stop imitating others because purpose gives you identity. You stop chasing applause because purpose gives you fulfillment. The noise of the world fades when you know why you are here. And as that clarity increases, so does your power. Because now your potential has a focus, it has a mission, you are no longer guessing you are guided. People often wonder why their lives feel stuck or unfulfilled. It's because they are operating outside of purpose. You can be talented and still unfulfilled. You can be admired and still empty. Potential is not fulfilling unless it is aligned with purpose. A powerful engine without a steering wheel is dangerous. In the same way, untethered talent can become destructive when it is not guided by meaning. Purpose anchors you. It protects you from wasting your energy on things that do not matter. When you are unclear about your purpose, you misuse your potential. You settle for jobs you were never meant to do. You entertain relationships that don't align with your calling. You accept limitations that were never meant for you. But once you understand your purpose, you begin to operate at a higher level of consciousness. You stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing. You stop chasing titles and start chasing impact. You begin to rise above fear because you are not living for survival, you are living for significance. Purpose is not always loud. It doesn't always come with lightning and thunder. Sometimes it is a quiet, persistent pull toward a cause, a calling, a vision. It shows up in what burdens you, what excites you, what you can't stop thinking about. It shows up in the things you do effortlessly, the areas where you naturally excel, the places where you feel most alive. Purpose is not always convenient, but it is always clear. It resonates deeply. It aligns with your core, and once you've tasted it, you cannot go back to a life of aimless motion. When you operate in purpose, your potential expands. You begin to grow in ways you never imagined. You develop capacities you didn't know you had. Why? Because purpose pulls greatness out of you. It challenges you to rise. It won't let you stay comfortable. It demands the best of you, and in doing so, it introduces you to parts of yourself you've never met. This is why the discovery of purpose is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, you will live beneath your capacity and never even realize it. The greatest discovery in life is not something outside of you, it's the realization of why you exist. When you know your why, you can endure anyhow. You stop asking, "What should I do?" and start declaring, "This is what I was born to do." That level of clarity turns confusion into conviction. It turns waiting into action. It turns potential into performance. You stop guessing. You start living with intentionality. Every step becomes ordered. Every decision becomes guided. Every season has meaning, even the painful ones. You were not created to wander. You were created to walk in purpose. And once you connect your life to that purpose, your potential will begin to unfold like a flower opening to the sun. Not all at once, but beautifully, powerfully, purposefully. Because purpose is the only environment in which your full potential can truly be unlocked. Potential is not automatic. It doesn't manifest just because it exists. It must be worked, developed, and stretched. What's inside you will never make a difference if you don't take responsibility for drawing it out. You can have greatness lying dormant in your spirit, but if you refuse to activate it through discipline and commitment, it will stay buried. Potential doesn't fulfill itself. It waits for you to make a demand on it. So many people are walking around with dreams, gifts, and ideas locked inside them, waiting, hoping, praying, but doing nothing. And the truth is, what you fail to use, you will eventually lose, not because someone took it from you, but because you never gave it expression. Potential is like a muscle. It grows with use, and it weakens with neglect. If you don't stretch it, you will never see its strength. If you don't challenge it, it won't produce anything new. Work is the bridge between potential and purpose. Without work, your gifts remain theories. Without effort, your calling remains an idea. You cannot wish your way into greatness. You cannot wait passively for your full capacity to show up one day. That's not how potential works. You must be willing to dig. You must be willing to sweat. You must be willing to get uncomfortable. There is no harvest without cultivation, no progress without pressure. The tragedy of untapped potential is that it doesn't disappear overnight, it simply fades slowly through inaction. One day of procrastination becomes a week becomes a year, and eventually the dream you carried becomes a memory you regret. That's what happens when potential isn't worked. It becomes frustration. You sense there's more in you, but you can't access it because you've trained yourself to avoid the discipline required to bring it out. It doesn't matter how gifted you are if you won't develop what you have. Raw talent without refinement is wasted capacity. The world is full of people with extraordinary gifts who never stepped into their full power because they refused the process of preparation. They wanted the reward without the routine. They wanted recognition without responsibility. But potential answers to consistency, not comfort. Don't be deceived into thinking that what's in you will find its way out on its own. Nothing meaningful in life grows by accident. You must be intentional. That means waking up every day and choosing growth, choosing to study, choosing to train, choosing to try again after failure, choosing to silence excuses and feed effort. You cannot unlock your future with lazy hands and distracted focus. You must work your potential like a field tilling, planting, pruning, and preparing for a harvest you cannot yet see. Working your potential will cost you. It will cost you time. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you the praise of people who don't understand your vision. But the return is far greater. When you commit to the work, your hidden strengths begin to emerge. You become sharper, wiser, more resilient. You begin to command authority, not because someone gave it to you, but because you earned it through unseen hours of effort. There is no shortcut to mastery. There is only the grind, and the grace that meets you in the grind. You have to make peace with the process. Potential doesn't bloom overnight. Just because it's not visible yet doesn't mean it's not growing. Sometimes the most powerful development is happening underground, where no one can see it. Your job is not to chase quick results. Your job is to stay faithful to the work. The world rewards performance, but life rewards preparation, and only those who work their gift in the dark will be ready to shine in the light. You must stop waiting for perfect conditions. There will never be a perfect time, a perfect opportunity, a perfect feeling. Potential isn't waiting on the world, it's waiting on your decision. The moment you choose to work with what you have, things begin to shift. Doors begin to open. People begin to take notice, but it only happens when you start moving. Motion creates momentum, and momentum multiplies potential. Don't let fear bury what was meant to flourish. Don't let comfort convince you to stay small. Don't let laziness steal your legacy. The ideas in your heart, the gifts in your hands, the power in your voice, all of it was given to you for a reason. But it will never make the impact it was designed to make if you don't work it. Dreams don't come true because they're inspiring. They come true because someone was willing to put in the work. Every day is an opportunity to either bury or build. You decide. Every excuse you make is a shovel covering your potential. Every disciplined action you take is a seed planted for your future. The power is in your hands. Don't leave your life to chance. Don't reach the end of your journey full of what you never released. Make the decision to work your potential now while you have the strength, while you have the time, while you still can. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be faithful. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start with what's in your hands, work your gift, stretch your mind, build your capacity, because your potential is waiting not to be admired but to be activated. There is no place more full of unfulfilled dreams, silenced voices, unwritten books, unsung songs, unstarted businesses, and unreleased inventions than the graveyard. It is the richest land in the world not because of gold or oil, but because of potential that was never realized. Men and women took their gifts to the grave, not because they didn't have time or ability, but because they didn't move when they could have. They waited, hesitated, or feared, and what was placed in them for the benefit of the world died with them, locked in silence forever. So many people live as if they have unlimited time. They say, one day I'll start, or someday I'll write it, or eventually I'll step out. But someday is not a day on the calendar, eventually is not promised. Life does not wait for us to be ready. It offers us moments, and what we do with those moments determines whether we live full or die full. Potential is time, sensitive. It's not meant to stay in you forever. It is a seed planted by your Creator to be released, grown, and multiplied. When that seed is never sown, it dies buried not by the soil of growth, but by the soil of regret. The tragedy of unrealized potential is that the world suffers a loss it can never measure. What could have been invented to solve a problem? What voice could have spoken freedom to others? What movement could have changed history, had someone simply believed in what was already in them? We think that hiding our potential only affects us, but the truth is, your gift was never just for you. It was given to you, but it was meant for others. And when you bury it, whether through fear, laziness, distraction, or pride, the world is robbed of something it desperately needed. Many die full because they lived afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of losing comfort, but failure is not the real danger unused success is. Failure means you tried, but dying full means you never even started. You can recover from failure, you cannot recover from never giving yourself permission to begin. The goal of life is not to arrive at death in perfect condition. The goal is to arrive empty, having poured out everything you were given. To leave the earth with nothing left undone, to make sure the grave gets none of your gift. This is why it's so important to live with urgency, not panic but purpose. You don't know how much time you have, but you do know you have today. You have this moment, and every moment you delay is a moment you could have been building, creating, sharing, serving. You don't have to do everything at once, but you do have to begin. Potential has an expiration date. If you let life pass you by while you wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect courage, you may never release what was in you to give. Don't let the graveyard win. Don't let fear dictate your legacy. Don't take the book you were supposed to write with you. Don't die with the solution still inside you. There is someone waiting on the other side of your obedience, someone who needs your story, someone who needs your innovation, someone who needs your presence. Your gift may not change the whole world, but it will change someone's world, and that's reason enough to release it. It's not enough to dream. Dreams without action become regrets. It's not enough to talk about your gift, you must put it to work. What you don't use will die in you. The grave has already taken too much. We must decide here and now that we will not add to its wealth. We will not join the millions who took their treasure to their tomb. We will live, build, speak, write, teach, design, and serve with everything we have, so that when our time comes, we leave this world better than we found it. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be faithful. You don't have to change nations. Just change your space. Start where you are. Use what you have. And do not let the enemy of time trick you into believing you can wait forever. You can't. Life is fragile. Your potential is precious. And you have a responsibility to yourself, to your generation, and to the one who placed it in you to release it while you can. One day, your life will be summarized in one line, a dash between two dates. That dash represents everything you did with the time you were given. Make that dash count. Fill it with purpose. Fill it with growth. Fill it with bold choices and broken limits. Don't let your final resting place be the most creative, talented, and visionary version of yourself. Pour it out now. Spend it while it can make a difference. Because at the end of it all, the goal is simple. Die empty. Leave no gift buried. Give the grave nothing. No one else is responsible for what you carry. Not your parents, not your teacher, not your boss, not your background, not even time. The potential placed inside of you is your personal responsibility. It is your duty to discover it, to develop it, and to release it. The world is not obligated to help you grow. It's not waiting to make room for you. But life does respond to those who take ownership, those who stop waiting for permission and start walking in purpose. You came into this world loaded with invisible treasure, but potential is like a buried well, deep, unseen, and silent until it's tapped. No one can tap it for you. You must do the digging. You must do the work. You must decide, I will not leave this earth full of what I never gave. Too many people spend their lives wishing someone would open a door for them when the truth is they're the ones holding the key. Nothing will change until you accept this truth. It's on you. There are no excuses strong enough to justify wasted potential. Excuses may bring you comfort in the moment, but they cost you greatness in the long run. People will tell you it's too late, too hard, too risky, but they're not the ones who will stand before the final mirror of your life. You will, and the only question that will matter is, did I do what I was born to do? Every resource you need to begin is already around you or inside you, but you won't find it until you take the first step. Responsibility is the switch that turns on vision. You don't need a platform to be powerful. You don't need a title to lead. You don't need applause to move forward. All you need is the courage to take responsibility for what has been placed within you. Your potential doesn't come alive because someone recognizes it. It comes alive because you recognize it and you begin to act. Once you make the decision to take ownership of your life, the atmosphere around you starts to shift. Doors begin to open, not because the world changed, but because you did. You must stop waiting for someone to choose you. You've already been chosen by purpose, by design, by destiny. You were sent here with an assignment, but no one else will execute it for you. No one else can write your book, paint your vision, sing your song, solve your problem, or build your dream. They might encourage you, they might inspire you, but the work is yours. And the moment you accept that truth, you become dangerous to fear, to doubt, to delay. Responsibility is not a burden, it's a key. It frees you from the lie that you need more to begin. It liberates you from the cycle of comparison. It anchors you in the truth that you are enough to start. You may not feel ready, but readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. The ones who release their potential are not the most talented, but the most disciplined. They choose progress over comfort. They choose purpose over popularity. And they keep choosing even when no one's watching. Your potential is not the responsibility of your circumstances. You may have had a hard start, you may not have had the support you needed, but adversity does not cancel destiny. The most powerful individuals in history were not those with perfect backgrounds, but those who refused to let their background define them. They understood that their environment was not an excuse, it was a classroom. They learned, adapted, pushed, and broke through, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. If you don't take responsibility for your potential, someone else will take advantage of it. The world is full of gifted people working hard to build someone else's dream, not because they lack ability, but because they never took ownership of their own. If you don't build your vision, you'll be hired to build someone else's. That's why responsibility is not optional, it's foundational. You were not made to simply exist. You were made to contribute, and contribution only comes from ownership. You must wake up every day and remind yourself, this life is mine to shape. This gift is mine to develop. This calling is mine to fulfill. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect. Don't wait for someone to push you. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Start now while the idea is fresh, while the fire is still lit, while the opportunity is still open. Don't look back 10 years from now and wish you had been bold. Make today the moment you stopped waiting and started building. No one else can live your life. No one else can birth your vision, and no one else will carry the weight of your unrealized potential when your time is up. That weight belongs to you, so lift it now, carry it well, and release what's inside of you, not because you're ready, but because you're responsible. Potential is power, but only when it's placed in motion. And motion begins the moment you say, it's on me, so now the choice is yours. You can walk away from this moment and return to comfort, to excuses, to delay, or you can rise up and take full responsibility for the treasure within you. The world doesn't need more potential, it needs more people who are willing to release it. Your future is not waiting for something outside of you. It's waiting for you to believe, to move, to build, to act. Don't go to the grave full. Don't let fear silence your gift. Don't let time rob you of your legacy. You were born full of purpose, but you must choose to pour it out. Live empty. Die finished, and let the world remember that you showed up with everything you had. Because the greatest tragedy is not death, it's potential never used. Now is your time, work your gift. Release your vision and give the grave nothing.